power of silence. Silence, it's often misunderstood. Many see it as an absence, a void, a sign of weakness or indifference. But in truth, silence is one of the most powerful tools we possess. It's a language all its own, capable of speaking volumes without uttering a single word. When you stop speaking, when you pull back and allow silence to take its rightful place, you shift the dynamics of any relationship or situation. Silence creates space, not just physical space, but emotional and mental space as well. It forces people to pause, to reflect, to examine their own actions and motivations. Think about it. When you're constantly reaching out, constantly filling the gaps with your words, your actions, your effort, what happens? You leave no room for the other person to step in. You take on the burden of the relationship, of the communication, of keeping the connection alive. And in doing so, you risk enabling complacency. But when you stop, when you embrace silence, everything changes. Silence is uncomfortable for many people. It's in that discomfort that clarity begins to emerge. A man will notice your absence in a way he never noticed your presence. He'll begin to feel the weight of the empty space you once filled, and he'll have to make a choice. Step forward to fill that space, or let it remain empty. This isn't about manipulation, it's about respect. Respect for yourself and respect for the other person. Silence says, I've done my part, I've shown up. Now it's your turn. It's a quiet declaration of self-worth, a statement that you will no longer overextend yourself for someone who isn't willing to meet you halfway. Silence also gives you power over your own emotions. It allows you to step back and observe, to process what's happening without the noise of constant interaction. It gives you clarity, helps you see things for what they are rather than what you wish them to be. And here's the truth. If a man values you, he will respond to your silence, not with more silence, but with action. He will take notice. He will step up. He will make the effort to bridge the gap. And if he doesn't, then your silence has done its job. It has revealed the truth. Silence is not passive. It's deliberate. It's a choice. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes saying nothing at all is the most impactful thing you can do. It's the space where reflection happens, where truth comes to light, and where respect is earned. So the next time you feel the urge to fill the silence, to reach out one more time, to explain, to fix, to make the effort, pause. Let silence do the work for you. Trust that it will speak louder than any words ever could, and know that in your silence, you are reclaiming your power, your worth, and your peace. Self-worth and boundaries. Expanded. Self-worth is the foundation of how we navigate relationships, opportunities, and life itself. It's the core belief that you are enough, not because of what you do, not because of how much you give, but simply because of who you are. And one of the most powerful ways to honor your self-worth is by setting clear and firm boundaries. Boundaries are not walls meant to keep people out. They're fences that define where you end and someone else begins. They are the lines that protect your energy, your time, and your emotional well-being. Yet, too often, we hesitate to set boundaries out of fear. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of losing someone we care about. Score. The first in paradise, score is defined by balance in life. But here's the truth. Without boundaries, you lose yourself. Without boundaries, you allow others to dictate your worth based on their needs, their priorities, and their convenience. And when that happens, you start to feel drained, unappreciated, and disconnected from your own value. Setting boundaries is an act of self-love. It's a way of saying, I respect myself enough to prioritize my needs, my peace, and my happiness. It's not about being selfish. It's about recognizing that you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot give your best to others if you're constantly depleting yourself to meet their expectations. When you set boundaries, you teach others how to treat you. You send a message that your time is valuable, your energy is precious, and your feelings matter. And those who truly care about you will respect those boundaries. They will understand that loving someone doesn't mean taking everything they have to give. It means honoring their limits and giving in return. On the flip side, there will be those who resist your boundaries. They may push back, test the limits, or even accuse you of being distant or unkind. But remember, their reaction is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their own discomfort with being held accountable. Number 3, compassion and understanding. And here's where self-worth comes into play. When you value yourself, you don't compromise your boundaries to keep someone else happy. You don't bend to fit into someone else's narrative at the expense of your own. Instead, you stand firm, knowing that the right people will respect your limits and the wrong ones will reveal themselves through their resistance. Boundaries also help you avoid resentment. When you say yes to things that don't align with your values, or when you give more than you're comfortable with, resentment builds. Over time, it erodes relationships and leaves you feeling used and unappreciated. But when you set clear boundaries, you prevent that resentment from taking root. You give from a place of abundance, not obligation. It's important to remember that boundaries are not just about saying no. They're also about saying yes to the right things, the right people, and the right opportunities. They allow you to focus on what truly matters, to invest your time and energy in the things that bring you joy and fulfillment. So how do you start setting boundaries? It begins with knowing your worth. Take the time to reflect on what you need, what you value, and what you're no longer willing to tolerate. Communicate your boundaries clearly and confidently, without apology or guilt. And most importantly, enforce them. A boundary without enforcement is just a suggestion. When you embrace your self-worth and set boundaries, you transform your life. You attract healthier relationships, greater respect, and a deeper sense of peace. You begin to live in alignment with your values, and you create a life that reflects the love and respect you have for yourself. Remember, boundaries are not just a defense mechanism, they're a declaration of your self-worth. They're a way of saying, I am enough as I am. I deserve to be treated with kindness, respect, and care, and I will not settle for anything less. So honor yourself by setting those boundaries. Protect your peace, stand in your worth, and watch how your life begins to flourish. The role of action over words expanded. We live in a world where words are abundant, promises are made, intentions are expressed, feelings are articulated in eloquent ways. But when it comes to building trust, connection, and understanding, words alone are never enough. It is action, consistent, meaningful, and intentional action that truly defines character and commitment. Heart. You see, words can be easy. They flow effortlessly in moments of passion or urgency, often driven by emotion rather than purpose. But actions require effort, intention, and follow-through. They demand time, energy, and sometimes even sacrifice. While words can inspire, it is actions that validate the inspiration, giving it weight and substance. Think about this in the context of relationships, romantic, platonic, or professional. How often have you heard someone say, "I'll do better," or "You mean so much to me," only to see little or no change in their behavior. The truth is, words without action are hollow. They may sound good in the moment, but they fail to build trust or sustain connection over time. Actions, on the other hand, are tangible. They show up in how someone treats you, how they prioritize you, and how they respond when you're not around to remind them of your needs. A man who values you doesn't just tell you he cares, he shows it. He listens to what you need and takes steps to meet those needs. He doesn't just promise to make time, he creates it. He doesn't just say he supports you, he actively does so, whether through encouragement, effort, or presence. This distinction between words and actions is critical because actions reveal truth. They are a reflection of priorities, not just intentions. If someone consistently shows up for you, puts in the effort, and follows through on their commitments, you can trust that their words hold weight. Conversely, if their actions don't align with their words, it's a sign that their intentions may not be as sincere as they seem. Now let's flip the lens. It's not just about how others treat you, it's also about how you show up in the world. Are your actions aligned with your words? Do you follow through on your promises, not just to others, but to yourself? Do you take steps every day to live in accordance with your values, goals, and aspirations? This alignment between words and actions is what builds integrity. It's what allows people to trust you, rely on you, and believe in you. It's also what builds your own self-respect. When you act on your intentions, you prove to yourself that you are capable, dependable, and worthy of the life you desire. New. Actions over words also play a vital role in conflict resolution and growth. When someone has let you down or made mistakes, their willingness to take corrective action speaks louder than any apology ever could. It's not enough to say, "I'm sorry." True repentance is demonstrated through changed behavior, through effort to make amends and ensure the same mistakes aren't repeated. In the same way, when you want to inspire or influence others, your actions are your most persuasive tool. People don't just hear what you say, they watch what you do. If you want to lead, if you want to create change, if you want to be an example, then your actions must speak for you. The beauty of action is that it doesn't need explanation. It doesn't need embellishment. It speaks for itself. A simple act of kindness, a consistent effort, or a small step toward a goal can say more than 1,000 words ever could. So as you navigate your relationships and your life, remember this: words are only the beginning. They are the seed, but actions are the soil, the water, and the sunlight that allow the seed to grow. Without action, words are just noise, but with action, they become powerful instruments of change, connection, and trust. Commit to being a person of action. Surround yourself with people who not only speak of love, respect, and integrity, but who embody those values in their behavior. And when someone's actions consistently fall short of their words, let that be the lesson, not the exception. Because at the end of the day, it's not what you say you'll do that defines you. It's what you actually do. Actions, not words, are the truest measure of intention, character, and love. Choose to act with purpose. Choose to align your actions with your values. And choose to give your time and energy to those who do the same for you.